Hey, it's Clay, and just missed it. All right, let me get something in place here real quick. So I just got filled 500 shares at 1845 here on ACAD. It is pre-market. Market doesn't open up for about an hour and 20 minutes. So pre-market trading, I know from feedback, several of you enjoy this. So like I said, I don't know, maybe it captured it, but literally right before the recording started, I got filled on ACAD for just 500 shares. So just, easing my way into the position. If it wants to give me a quick $50 bill, I'm not going to turn that away. But I would like more than 500. We'll see how this plays out. But I will go ahead and pause for now just because pre-market's not super active. But we'll see if this can make its way down, or like I said, if it's going to allow me to build some more. So I will keep you updated, but I'm going to head back and do my normal morning routine with customer service, emails, all that good stuff. All right, it's getting somewhat goofy here. The spread really opened up. I have another order 500 at 1875, so maybe I'll be able to get those, but we will see. All right, I apologize. I missed that entry point. Picked up another 500 at 1875, so 1,000 shares now. And we'll see if I can get some more or not. Market opens up in basically an hour exactly. So let's see how this one continues to play out. In fact, let's get another order up there at 1895. And then start to go up above 19.2. Maybe I'll be able to build a nicer size position here. We will see what happens. All right, I apologize. I'm missing. So I'm just going to go ahead and hop out there at 63. So I think I got the last ones, but had 1,500 shares and was up at right around 67-ish, and had a stop loss. Where's my marker at? Had a stop loss. Let me change the color to make sure it shows up, right around there. And it never necessarily got close to breaking up above those highs. Had it, I would have gotten the video rolling again and seen me stop out. But it was basically, I don't want to call it loss control mode, because I was still, had the opportunity at a win. But I had to also, I was kind of in the sketchy territory of, probably not the best trade going on, so I need to get a stop loss in here now. And then also, but I wasn't just going to give up. I mean, if it went against me, fine, I would have gotten out. Or if it went in my favor, then I'll still take a little bit of a win. But with that being said, it did not justify me to go for a much bigger win. Now, sure, hindsight, I could have, gotten out at more attractive prices, but hey, that's hindsight. The point here being, though, that I wasn't totally giving up, but I was giving up in the sense of it's time to put in a stop loss, but I was also willing to potentially pull some gains from it. So hence loss control mode, making sure the loss doesn't get out of control, but sometimes it'll actually work out, and in this case, it did for $65. So you may be thinking that was a whole lot of work for $65. I agree. That's why I say it wasn't by no means a clean trade, but sometimes it happens. And, like I said, stop loss was above there. The highs, as I admitted that this wasn't really going well, but it did work out in my favor. And when it worked out in my favor, I just decided to take advantage of it. So $65 there. So I realize not the most exciting trade, but actually an action-packed trade in the sense of kind of how things work as a trader, where sometimes you got to admit you weren't quite right. You weren't quite wrong either, but you also don't want things to spin out of control. And within my strategy, that's why the stop loss was in place. It was a mental stop loss, but like I said, had it broken up above these highs. Let's see, I think, what were they? 86, 86, 86. So up above 90, that would have been where I would have started to just, hop out of the position, and it would have been right around. I could be lying here, but give or take a $300 loss-ish, but that could be a lie. So, oh wow, we're already 5 minutes and I've only caught one trade, but I don't know. Hopefully some of you got some benefit out of this. I'm definitely going to keep watching this one as the morning progresses. Market still doesn't open up for about 40 minutes. But yeah, that was a whole lot of work for $65, but it is what it is. Was not a clean trade, but hey, welcome to the life of a trader. The markets are now open, have an order at 19.95 here on ACAD. Quite a ways off. We'll see if it can get up there, and I'm going to look around for some other potential movers. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get short here at 90. Well, why is that not filling me? That was goofy. Huh. That was bizarre. Let's try that again. 95. There we go. Short at 95. So let's see if we can get that breakdown there. If not, I can work with the position here, just an entry point, or just a starting spot, I should say. So I will keep you updated on the trade. Oh, never mind, it's going back to, or it's at 95 again. So let's see if it can push down through there or not. All right, I will go ahead and pause for the time being. All right, have an order at 95.65. Let's try to pick up some more shares here. Also have an order to short at 96.25. I will go ahead and pause. All right, narrowing 95. We'll see once again if this thing wants to flush down through there. We'll keep you updated. All right, getting some shares up there at 95.95. I have a partial. Okay, so all in right there. So we'll see if I can get some more. Okay, I have some orders in. If it can break down below 70, that's going to be the key area. So it's trying to break down below there. Let me put this on here. So essentially, if it can get down there and hit that green line, then I will be in the profits. So let's see if this thing wants to roll back over some. Again, if that candle comes down here and hits that green line on the screen, that is the area where I'm making some money. Okay, there we go. I've got some off the table. Let's see if it can push down there a tad bit more. So got 245 off. So a partial fill there. See if it wants to go back down there and give it another try. It's trying. See, it just needs to work its way a little bit down, further down. Now this thing is just toying with me. Just needs to go a tad bit further. Just a little bit lower. All right, I will go ahead. Wow, we're over 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pause. All right, it's nearing it again. Maybe go for another try here. There we go, out of some more. And all out there for $200 on that trade. Let's see what else I can find. ALQA going absolutely bonkers, but it's going to get halted here. So let's watch the halt. Here is a halt coming, meaning the level 2s over here are going to go blank here in just a second. So good old, then there is the halt. How did I know that was a halt coming? Here, watch this plug. That's just one of the many things you'll learn about in my courses that I offer. How can you spot halts like that? So maybe we'll come back to that, but SQ looking like, all right, this one needs to be alerted in the chat room, so we'll keep it rolling though. So that's what you heard me typing. Let's see. $65.25. There we go. Let's see if it can move down there or not. Have an order out here on WB, so a couple different bobbers in the water. We'll see if I can get any nibbles. $65.95. Change the order to this one. Is quite the fast mover, so good chance I may miss the entry point, but I'll do my best. Have an order at $3.90 here on ALQA. Definitely not going to chase this one, but if it wants to pull back some, actually missed something on another. Remember, I'm looking at other screens. $3.85. So let's see if we can get $3.80. I will keep you updated. Still have that order out there on WB2 on 65 at $65.95. All right, pullback coming. Let's see if I can get the 380s or not. My entry point is represented by that green line. It's trying. There we go. All right, got my first allotment there. Just 500 shares, so nothing huge on a $4 stock, but it at least gets my feet wet. If it does want to give me $50, I'll take it. But if I can buy some more on the pullback, I am willing to do so. All right, it decided to just give me the $50, but lesson here, don't want to chase. You got to think about it. There were people that bought up there, and sure, it may return back up there, but just think about how they're feeling or how they were feeling during that pullback right there. And that's just a bad habit. And yeah, they may get bailed out, but that's not a good habit you want to be forming is to chase. So just remember that. Listen to the story of the chart, and the story right now is telling you that some people are literally, see how high did that candle go? Some people literally bought up at 439, and they just watched it drop below 4, and you got to be wondering how they're feeling. Again, they might get bailed out, but that doesn't mean it was a good habit to be forming in the first place. And I should note it is now 10 o'clock. So 30 minutes in, up $315. So, not bad for 30 minutes of worth of quote unquote work here in my pajamas. But let's see if I can capture one more trade. And they were bailed out. What a beast this thing is. I'm going to keep an eye on it. If it wants to pull back again, then yeah, I'm willing to play a pullback, but definitely not chasing. All right, have an order at $4.25 here for my first 500 shares. Okay, I got those. We'll look to build more if possible, but again, if it wants to give me the $50 bill, I'm not going to turn that away. So it did decide to just give me the $50 bill. Double checking. So next order is down here at that level right there. So yeah, if this thing wants to keep on pulling back, then I'll buy it. Now think again. Remember, some people chased and they got bailed out, but maybe those same people were like, you know what, I'm going to go again. And they bought up there. So imagine how those people feeling right now. Sure, it worked out before, but, when do they sell? You know, how long do they hold? I mean, when all you're doing is chasing and you don't really have a strategy, you know, right now the people that chased up here, they're not feeling too good. And once more, they could get bailed out, but as far as how they're feeling, things are looking a bit sketchy right now. All right, a little bit more of a violent pullback here, although 401 is out of range again. I'll keep an eye on it. All right. Well, it was at 401, 405 for a second. So it's within the vicinity. Oh, so close. All right, well, that was the move I was looking for. So what I'm going to do is go back to that 380 point that I was at before. So that was down at that area. So the green line there is now my new entry point. All right, WDC, excuse me, have an order at 45.85. Oh, so close, went down to 45. There we go. So got my first allotment there. I will look to build more if possible. Or again, if it wants to give me the $50 bill, I'll take that. So it decided to just give me the $50. Next order is at 55.41. If it gets down there, I will get the video rolling again. All right, I changed my order to 45.37. And in hindsight, should have kept it there at 51. Would have already been out, but hey, that's why we're all super rich in hindsight. So I need to change this down to 45.20. There we go. So 45.20 now, the newest entry point. All right, I am in. That was fast and out. Wow, that was, if you blinked, you missed that one. 44.51, newest order, but I got filled, and by the time I could drag my cursor on my screen over to the sell button, it had already taken me out for another $50. Next order at 44.51. All right, this was a pretty excessive pullback here. So picking some up there at 4.35. We'll look to get some more if possible. Oh, wow, we're at almost 18 minutes on the video. Try for some at 4.15. Excuse me. 401 too. All right, I will keep you updated. All right, pulling back, looking like I, for a second, had a chance at 4.15s. I will pause. All right, well, nice. All right, that was a super fast move. So I now have 1,000 shares. Have another order to buy at 401. And if it goes down below 4, I will gladly pick up some more. I'll keep you updated. All right, looking for potentially a break of 4. I may actually try to pick up some more down around this area here. Let's see if it can get on down through 4 though. I'm going to pick some up at 410 if it'll allow me. Well, this is just going to flat out be a longer video. That green line there represents where I start to make money. So if the price and the candle can get up to that area, and like I said, that's the money making area. All right, I will pause. All right, I got those at 410. So we'll see if I can get some more. 1,500 shares, but again, we're talking about a sub $5 stock, so not exactly a huge position size. I do need to bring down the green line. So if it hits that green line there, I am making money. So we'll see if it can start to make its way up there or not. All right, it's trying to get up to that green line. It's trying. All right, I will pause. All right, it moved back to this area of the chart. Got some at 405. So we'll see if it wants to work its way back upwards or not. Bring down my green line here to represent where the price needs to get to. Again, only 2,500 shares, so nothing huge. Try for some down here at 4. Okay, I got those. So again, if it can hit that green line, that is where money is beginning to be made. I'm gonna, wow, 21 minutes. Oh well. All right, I will pause. All right, it's trying to get up to that green line. Let's see if it can get up there. Finally get some sort of bounce. Okay, I got some off there. Got some off there. Going for some more. Okay. Let's see if this thing, I got 1,000 shares left, but I'm done with these games on this one. Wanted to bounce, and I suppose it bounced, but not very worthwhile. So I guess that we kind of have a bookends here. The first trade was kind of just, I mean, it wasn't a bad trade. It just wasn't as smooth as I would have liked it. And the last trade here was not as smooth as I liked it. But still, we're less than 90 minutes into the day, and I am up $520. With commissions, yeah, probably right around 500, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, I am definitely wrapping this up. Maybe the longest video I've ever done. Before I go though, if you did enjoy this video and you want me to keep making them, the easiest way to communicate that is to just click that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel too. Check out the channel. There's a lot more than just these live trade videos. Earlier in the video, I was typing and talking about alerting stuff to the chat room. This is a chat room that everybody is welcome to join. Just go to claytrader.com. That is called the Inner Circle. And the cost is $99 per year. Not per week, not per month, $99 per year. And as I always say and will continue to say, over the time span of 12 months, I'm more than confident you'll get at least $99 worth of value. And then finally, if you're interested in learning how to trade with charts and how to use technical analysis, I do offer many online video courses on that, which again, you can find at claytrader.com. But if nothing else, and you just enjoy my videos and want me to keep making these, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and that's a good way to let me know that I'm not wasting my time as I do this. So thanks for watching, and if you're still listening right now, then yeah, bless your heart. I appreciate it. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.